and
Austin.
We're here to share a little insight about our upgrades. You guys have maybe been noticing lately that our bodies are changing and we have a constant adaptation that we need to learn how to redirect our energy and our gut health. So we're going to share a little bit of knowledge and wisdom that we have learned.
Yes, we've actually been wanting to do a spring cleaning throughout our temples, and a big representation of that. We were just discussing, we had watched some videos not too long ago from David Avocado Wolf, representing the differences between the solstices and the equinoxes. And these are, if you're not familiar, alignments in the stars that astrology and other astrologists have notated throughout time. We were actually just discussing not too long ago, looking into getting an almanac, which is just a farmer's astrology book, essentially, to know when the best times for harvesting crops and all of these different cycles that revolve around the astrology, the stars. And yeah, my wife and I were just talking about how the cleansing renewal phase is what they call the spring cleaning. So that is our theme for this video, trying to do some renewals. And I think the very first product that we've actually been introduced to as far as cleanses go was what, the activated charcoal?
Activated charcoal, yeah, David Avocado Wolf has some really great activated charcoal, but also from Symbiotica, they have a really great one too. We'll get into, we have Symbiotica products for sale that we're going to host from ashrawhealing.com. And so you guys will be able to check it out. But in the meantime, some info about charcoal. If you take charcoal, you are helping this renewal process because it's like helping our silica. Our bodies are consisted of natural silica or crystalline organic compounds. So whenever you use charcoal, it's like with the fire,
it's a filter. Okay, so have you ever heard of charcoal filters for like your water systems?
Yeah,
that is absorbing all of those toxins. That is exactly, if you've ever heard of somebody who's going through an overdose or took poison of some sort,
yeah.
What do they do to them at the hospital?
Activated charcoal.
They pump them full of that charcoal so that way they can filter.
It's an absorbent, not
toxins.
Adsorbent. It absorbs anything that's a toxin, so it doesn't absorb your vitamins. Actually, it only absorbs things that are hurtful to your body, not the things that your body actually needs. So along with it helping your rebirth cycle, it helps to get out parasites, and it helps with anxiety as well. Because
a little disclaimer here, yeah, somebody that first started on the activated charcoal, we were not warned, like we're trying to warn you now. If you are on any type of medications, mental, physical, that are prescribed by a doctor of medicine, these higher up, I believe they call them controlled substances, they do get neutralized by the activated charcoal. So if you're on a regimen of some sort,
wait 4 to 6 hours.
I was going to say, what is the window on that? It's like 2 to 4 is very minimal. You could probably get away with 2, but 4 hours, that's a great window. You can wait 4 hours, then do your charcoal, and that's for the foods you're about to eat. If you can go for a water fast, that's your best option for cleansing.
And we are not, just a little disclaimer to add to that, we are not medical, we are not doctors. So if you are on hardcore medications,
please consult
check,
a doctor. Yes.
Check with your doctor and
physicians.
We are here to just share our experiences and what has worked for us and our family.
We are going to be doing this on a weekly basis. Our goal is to daily follow up with our videos. So definitely leave your comments and questions below for us. My wife is part of the nutritionist path. She is getting certified through David Avocado Wolf's holistic nutrition therapy.
And he is a really great teacher, you guys. If you're looking to follow somebody that has been around, his family has been around a very long time as well.
They've been farming, right?
Yeah, they actually plant trees.
Avocado trees,
And,
imagine that.
yeah, avocado trees, which avocados are so good for you. Like,
Very much so.
if you could,
If I had to pick one fruit that I had to live off of for the rest of my life, it'd probably be avocados, only simply because it has all the oils you need, it has the omegas, has the fats, has the proteins, everything that you can need in one fancy packaged little pod. You can easily tell when they're ready to eat, and if they're not ready to eat, they're even better for your gut bugs. You can get
oh,
some
and you can
renewal
put them in the
going.
oven also,
You can
and
bake them.
you can bake them. Actually, you can, we have, our family like lives, and we've kind of been on a little bit of a break for a while from the avocados, but we can tell the difference, guys. Like when we have our avocados compared to, like, we just bought some more today, and we're gonna like re-amp up our shakes. And
It's kind of like if you skip that morning coffee and things don't feel right in the
got
body
afternoon
there.
coffee
Yeah,
now.
no kidding. You can kind of tell when you miss that coffee break. That's how we felt when we were skipping around on our diet in general. I mean, we can tell them a little bit about the diet too. We did find out, what was it, 2018, I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
That was around the
2018.
range we discovered Dr. Gundry, and he
Yeah.
had the original, or it was the #2 book called The Plant Paradox. Now, I can't remember what he first called the program. He called it something else to begin with, but
It's like Dr. Gundry's diet
evolution. Thank
evolution.
you.
Yeah.
Yes. And then he really revamped the whole status of his supplements and everything to match the newer book, The Plant Paradox. Now he's had some other paradox books.
His
off of that.
newest book is
What's the newest book called?
his newest book is called the Keto Code.
Keto Code.
And but go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I was actually just going over how he went off a spin-off from the plant paradox. I believe he did the energy, or it could have even been
Longevity.
the longevity.
It went
was in between.
Diet
those.
evolution, plant paradox, longevity, and now the Keto Code.
Yes, and the energy paradox was in there most recently before the Keto Code. And I really resonated with the energy paradox because I was going through all of those.
Diabetes.
Yeah, so what it talks about in the energy paradox, sorry to bounce around like this, is kind of how we flow the easiest. What stuck with me about the energy paradox with Dr. Gundry was that he talks about doing major caffeines and energy drinks and different right now energy will cost you in the long term. So
Yeah,
if you're
it's
really,
like a Band-Aid.
right,
Like even the coffee, like really, coffee's just temporary, right? There's a crash. What goes up
must come down. And if you have children, you definitely understand this with sugar. And so we have been learning the differences between natural sugar versus processed sugar, and how even though you're eating fructose in the form of an apple or some strawberries or fruit itself, fructose,
especially fruit juices,
especially,
ooh,
fructose is a toxin. Our bodies are naturally trying to fight off this toxin, and there's seasons.
They're called lectins.
Well, not those yet. I was just talking about fructose itself. Fructose is a toxin that our body is trying to eliminate. So we're only supposed to eat fruit in season, which is the winter, I believe.
Well, yeah. Each thing,
fats.
depending on where you live, this is why the almanac that he's mentioning is very important, because depending on where you live in the southern hemisphere, eastern hemisphere, western hemisphere, the western culture, traditionally we eat fruit all year long, and really it, like my husband saying,
mess you up.
They force, some people will add coloring and wax and all types of stuff. So it's very important that you try to get as organic fruit and vegetables that you can find. And if you can't, you can wash some vegetables in white vinegar, and there's colloidal silver. Oh, that one we'll talk about later. But you can clean your fruits and vegetables with that. But the more organic, the better. And the closer to the time, there's about a handful of fruits you can have during each season. And this is for people who are having low energy, some type of, like if you have SIBO or some type of small overgrowth, like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth is what SIBO is. And a lot of people have it stems from leaky gut. Dr. Gundry talks about how all disease starts and ends, it begins in the gut healing. So once you heal leaky gut, you are then able to stop having all of these autoimmune reactions, which your body's having from these pesticides that are coming from these fruits and things that are supposedly even organic. They're still sprayed. So you've got to, it's almost like the things that I remember a long time ago, I didn't understand about, well, why people
You
pay
get what you pay
extra.
for, yeah.
You really do. And you should always say yes to investing in yourself because your body cares for you and loves you. And this is your temple. This is what you were given by your creator, God, source, whatever you want to call this beautiful divine energy. You reflect what you eat and your health reflects it. So
a good foundation for all of that, especially the plant paradox, is that every part of your health begins in your gut.
Yes.
Right. And so
mental.
we like to call them, just like Dr. Gundry likes to call them, our
Gut
gut buddies.
We have
okay?
a group called Gut Buddies, guys.
Our
If
group
you
that
guys,
we
some of you
are-
already know us from
Right,
Gut
right.
Buddies.
We're trying to promote several different things at the same time, and that's where it's going to kind of split the forks here a little bit. I kind of man the gut buddies, and I've dropped the ball on that. We did move over here to Florida,
Yeah.
and during the move process, we started cheating on our diet again, and we're talking processed foods, fast food, whatever it took to get
Not
over
so much
here.
the-
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah,
the one
just for
week,
like
yeah,
a week.
just that 1 week it took
Oh,
us to drive from
Like,
New
I don't-
Mexico to Florida. Imagine driving 2 kids all the way from that trip, but yeah. So we cheated, and once we split that seal, it's very easy to go back to old habits, but it's just as easy to go right back into new ones. And what really helped us was, I know we jumped around with the books again, but let me go in order. The foundation is the plant paradox, right? And from there, the longevity paradox is about how you can retain.
This is our foundation, pretty much. This was
Right.
where our family started, was with the plant paradox, matching the plant paradox cookbook, and then followed forth. what
You
he's
have the
speaking of.
longevity paradox, the energy paradox, and now his new keto, because a lot of people are doing keto wrong. You know,
He
there's a
actually,
right-
yeah, he's
there's a
wanting
right
to
and a
bury
wrong way
keto.
of how
Yeah.
keto works. And there's a bunch of myths to keto. Yeah, you can make it work in the short term, but you'll be
People are
damaged in the
becoming
long term. But
fuel.
back to the
wasters.
foundation. So the foundation is that all health begins in the gut. And so what ends up in your gut has to enter through your mouth first, right? Just like what ends up in your brain starts off in your ears and your eyes. These are all gates. These are all entrances to our temple.
Portals and yeah, in my work, yeah, they're like.
And as you
little
see
portals.
behind us, this is a very great illustration of the chakras and what the correlation to your energy centers.
Your
like
chakras
we
are your
like to call
major
them.
organ function. Some people freak out with the word chakra, at least like in our little group in the past, like it would be like woo-woo considering to like talk about this, but this is everything. This is
our temple. This is what we came to
expand
and
to activate. And so when you have like you can see that everything is geometrical as well. So when you can learn what foods, what foods they
Correlate.
actually are shaped like the shapes of your organs, like they would say that eating the apple a day is good for your heart. Well, it is good to have apples every now and then, but you should only do, it's a green.
So
green-
there's two
green
things.
apples.
So you got shapes and colors. Okay, so for one great example, avocados.
Yes.
So an avocado would be green. Of course, it transforms into black whenever it's ripe, but starting off as the fruit, it's green. Okay, so that would match up with the heart, right? They're great for your heart. They've got oils. For men, it also goes down into helping, they kind of look like testes, so they're testicular in health, and they also kind of look like ovaries, so they're very good for reproductive systems in general. Same thing, how the walnuts are kind of shaped like little brains. Those shapes kind of coexist with the shapes of our bodies.
Yeah.
The walnuts are good for the brains, and we were talking about this whole cleansing idea. Another great point is all black is standing for renewal, right? So you have your black walnuts, your black garlic, your black, the charcoal we were talking about. These are all stemming from renewal. And we do have the
Silica.
liquid version of the renewal would be like colloidal silver. That's what my wife was talking about earlier, when you're spraying your fruits and veggies with your own, like let's say you have your own garden in the back, you want to preserve these things, don't spray them with those preservatives, don't spray them with the weed killers and whatever. I
You
don't
can
wanna
use
name any
diatomaceous
brands.
earth and colloidal silver and put citronella and lavender. There's so many ways that you can avoid pests, which by the way, a few casual bugs are actually what are gut
Scrumptious.
bugs. Well, on lettuce, because if
I
you
can already
get
see the comments,
organic,
these
you
bug eaters over here, they're trying
I
to tell us
will.
to eat bugs. So she, just for example, what was it, about 2 weeks ago, she got these organic heads.
I
of
had to
lettuce,
throw them away
right?
though, guys.
No,
I'm
she
sorry.
wanted to throw them away, but the second she turned her back over here, I went and made a smoothie out of them, right?
Oh no!
And
Now
so,
we're eating out of the trash can.
confession corner, no,
Just
not
kidding.
trash can, but the
We're
actual,
joking.
you'll see these tiny little bugs sometimes when you buy organic on the leaves and stuff, because they did not spray them with the bug chemicals to keep them away. Well, guess what? All those little wrinkly parts of the lettuce head that may have bugs in between them, you just give them a quick rinse in the colloidal silver and everything. And if a bug gets stuck in there, it's actually really healthy for you. Like you've heard of people who eat the ants and the
Not like
crickets
a
and all
lot
kinds of stuff like
bugs
that.
or anything.
That's not what we're talking about.
No.
We're talking about the very gnats, very
Microscopic,
microscopic bugs that are
but
still on the lettuce. You
if you
spray
see
and
that,
rinse
that
them
means they
off.
haven't been sprayed with pesticides, so it's
It's
kind
a
of a
good
good
sign.
sign, and you can take it and kill them, not, alleviate.
And what's the saying that works with the gut is the bitter, the better. So
Oh,
usually
yeah.